Hello, this video is about King for a Day by Ben Crossland, which is piece B2 in the current initial grade exam pieces book. This is a jolly tune and it's even got some words, so when you've learnt the tune you might enjoy singing the words along and playing at the same time. The tune, of course, is in the left hand, the right hand is just accompanying, so the real tune is and so on. Let's talk about hand positions. Now you're right, both hands move, but the right hand only moves once and it's only a small move. So you start in this position, second finger on middle C, so obviously your thumb is going to be on B, so that's your position. And the right hand mostly just does an accompanying chord on beats 2 and 3 of some bars. Near the end it comes in on beat 1. But so I'm just going to play through the right hand. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So you're given a fingering for the first chord. You're expected to, and that's the same up to and including bar 5. Bar 6, one of the notes is different. I think you can work out easily enough what the fingering will be there, because the upper note is simply one step above the upper note in the previous chord. Then bar 7, nothing. Bar 8, the top note is the same as bar 6. The bottom note is a step under. So again, work out the fingering. Yeah, so the first chord is that, have that for several bars, then that, then that. And that's basically all we get, different combinations of those chords until the last 2 bars. And notice in the last but 1 bar, which is bar 15, you're given another finger number, the first finger number you've had in the right hand since the beginning, and that's because it's a position change. Notice the first note is F, but in your current position you have your pinky on F. So you need to quickly move up one little step in order to go. So if we play the last line, notice what happens. I'm starting in the position with my thumb on B, so going from bar 13. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's an easy position change. It's easier than you might think. You're going from there to there. So a useful thing to practice is because you're playing an F both times, practice playing F with your 5th and then F with your 4th. Just 5, 4, 5, 4. See how quickly you can do that. It's such a small movement that it's quite easy. And as usual, practice doing it without looking. Do it by feel, not by staring at your fingers. Now, when you're comfortable with that, you can add the other note in the chord. So you've got B and F with 1 and 5, and then F again, but with 4. So 1 and 5, 4, 1 and 5, 4, 1 and 5, 4. Not too difficult, is it? So just going the last 4 bars again, bar 13, last line. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. And notice the slur. So try and make that little phrase nice and legato. Like that. Okay. So that's the right hand. Left hand, as I say, has the main tune, and it changes position a bit more often. In fact, wherever you get a finger number, obviously you get a finger number at the beginning to give your position, but after that, whenever you get a finger number, it is a sign that you're going to have to change position. And the first position change is between bars 6 and 7. You notice, and again, it's a similar thing. You've just played a D, which you'll have played with your thumb. Then the next bar begins with another D with finger 2. So again, it's 1, 2. Changing fingers on a repeated note is one of the easiest ways to change position. Okay, so we start in this position, second finger on C. Let's just play through it, and I might stop to talk about it before I finish. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. Here comes the position change. And off on the third beat. Now there is one thing there. It's not simply a move up. It is a move up, but you've still got to play that D. So if you move your whole hand up, you won't have a finger. That G, I mean, not D. Still got to play that G. So you have to stretch slightly for that bar. And in fact, or even rather than stretch, you simply come back to your original position, which is where you want to be for the next part. So practice that. 2, 1, 2, 5. Do it looking at your fingers first, then try and do it without looking. And then also practice from the bar before, bar 6. So you're going to be playing D with your thumb, change to 2, and find the G. Practice that a little bit. There is another way of doing it, which is instead of changing fingers on the repeated D, stay in position, play the D with your thumb, and reach over like that with your second finger to play the E, but keep your thumb on the D. You could try that if you like. I think the fingering in the book is probably better on the whole, but I think both work quite nicely. Anyway, that brings us back to our starting position. So we're now bar 9, beginning of the third line. So we have 3 bars in our original position. 1, 2, 3. Then it's quite a big change, quite a surprise, because the next note is E, which is the note above what you've just played, but you have to play it with 3. Like that. Now, there are sort of 2 ways of doing this. You can either do what I just did, which is simply 1, 2, 3, just a fraction before the beat, just simply move your hand up. So you're moving 2 steps up this time. Or you could prepare for it while holding the D by doing that. If you've played scales, you'll be familiar with that movement of the fingers, bringing the third over the thumb. So if I'm going to play from the beginning of the line again using that technique. 2, 3. Prepare. Good. Now the 1 on the G in bar 13 is not a position change. That is where your thumb should be if you've played the E with your third. There is a position change after that. We'll come to that in a moment. I'll just play from bar 9 again, and this time I'll just move the hand wholesale rather than using the scale technique. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So you can try both of those techniques. What I call moving wholesale means you have to slightly break the legato, which is not a bad thing. because the slur has finished. So it's like taking a little breath. 2, 3. That G, notice there's an accent on it. Give it a bit of an extra bash. And then the next note is G an octave below, so we have to go right down there. Back to our starting position, in fact. Now, in piano we play a lot of octaves, so it's worth getting used to how that feels. Practice playing that G and then finding the G an octave lower with your pinky. Practice it a few times looking at your fingers and then see if you can do it without. It depends on how big your hand is. If you're quite young still, you may not be able to stretch that octave, but if you can, for most older people, an octave is a sort of comfortable stretch. More than an octave is fine for some people, but not much more than an octave. But an octave sort of is just a nice opened out hand. Okay, I'm just going to play through the whole of the left hand once more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so putting the hands together. And off. You'll need to practice it quite a bit, hands. At any rate, for the last line, you'll need to practice hands separately quite a lot. In the rest of it, the hands actually don't play at the same time ever, do they? So for the first 3 lines, it won't be very difficult to put the hands together because it's always left, right, right. It's always one hand or the other playing. One hand, well, the left hand often holds a note while the right hand plays, but they don't start a note at the same time. That only happens in the last 2 bars. So that needs a bit more practice. However, the speed, 130, probably should be a bit faster than that. So. But don't aim for that speed yet until you're comfortable with it. Okay. Yeah, I think that's enough on that one. So that's the end of that video.